do they think, not their intention to vote, but who do they think? I may want to vote for the opposition, but I think that the incumbent is going to win. So this is just likely to win, according to the responses that we have on likely to win. Alliance. MPP and all its all the other affiliated parties, for example. Then the UDP, 20% thinks UDP is going to win. And there's a large, nearly 20% who say we don't know. 4% decides not to say, and 1% refuse. So you can see unlikely to win is mainly bid win between the NPP alliance, UDP, and the APRC no to alliance, 4%. This is just likely to win, right? Now, the other intention to vote, very important data. The intention to vote here, you remember 49% says they're going to vote for other candidates. So now we're going to look at that, who they intend to vote for specifically, right? So when we ask who they intend to vote for, 35% indicate they intend to vote for the UDP. The next to that is the APRC no to alliance. 11% intend to vote for that, and the PDOI is at 8%, UMC at 7%. Then there's a large number of undecided. Prefer not to say 8 plus 14. So about 22% that we really do not know. They are undecided. They refuse to say or they don't know. So this is a large number. That plus what we have seen, about 10% at the national level. All of that is going to be a significant amount of undecided voters. More than 20, you can say more than 20% undecided voters. So it's still really not very clear. Okay, but among other candidates, UDP is leading, followed by the APRC no to alliance, still formidable, the PDOIS as well as the others. Then we ask people, there's a lot of talk around, what this result show is other candidates are about 49% compared to only 34% for the incumbent. So really a united coalition, whether they think a united coalition is the credible way to win the incumbent, which the data actually shows up there. But if you look at the answers to this question also, it indicates the same thing. You can see that nearly 77 in 10 says that a united coalition is a credible way to win the incumbent, right? Only 25% say it is not. So there's this high level of consensus on a united coalition's ability to win the incumbent. And if you look at those responses across geographic distributions, you can see it's even highest in Kuntauru, in Karawan, in Kanifing, in almost everywhere, but highest in Brikama, as we can see. Okay? So what can we draw from all of this in terms of key takeaways and recommendations? Okay? So our political parties, candidates, policymakers, they need to take a thoughtful and a considered approach to what we have here. It's just a presentation, but the report, the detailed report, for every question, like I said, is analyzed at the level of LGA, at the level of age distribution, so that you know what the youth are saying and what the elderly voters are saying, at the level of educational background, so that the well-educated ones, what they are saying and what the others are saying. So all of that is important, right? So they really need to take a thoughtful and a considered approach to this. It should not be dismissed, but it should be used as a means to better their campaign and politics going forward. We still have a lot of time for December 2026, and a lot is possible. So this is just initial landscape, And I think all parties, candidates and policymakers should consider the findings from this. So engaging with a large number of undecided voters also reflects that the demand for a more nuanced policy stance and the need for a genuine reform promises, especially among the major political contenders, the NPP, its alliance, and the UDP. The engagement activities can include, should focus on women. If you look at the undecided voters, it should focus on women, the young people, and urban residents, okay? And it should be policy-based, not based on rhetorics, right? Now, there's a need to put a new emphasis on reforms in governance. As we have seen, reforms around national unity, institutional reforms, making them more efficient, economic governance, how they look at, how they take care of the economy, job creation, as well as services, which include security, health, and education, right? It is also recommended that more stringent institutional framework needs to be employed that ensures that corruption, the government fights corruption head on, right? There should be levers, and this can include, for example, strengthening an autonomous anti-corruption body. We now have the Anti-Corruption Commission, still not very, not at work yet. To its development and implementation of this anti-corruption laws and increased transparency in public decision-making and expenditures, okay? Also on the economy and unemployment, this dissatisfaction, especially in urban and peri-urban areas, seems to emerge as an important issue. So government should really invest on job creation, SME development, good initiatives that have a direct impact on lives and livelihoods of the people. And the fear of a lack of national unity can be a concern, and government needs to tackle it to ensure more national inclusion and cohesion within the country as we head towards the December polls. Also, policies would need to focus on the independence of the IEC. A lot about the IEC needs to be taken care of. Compliance with laws, electoral laws, and the guarantee that the coming election is going to be free, fair, and credible, across the nation. They need to really assure the people and act by that. Okay, vote buying is an important reform agenda that we have seen. Okay, as highlighted. So there is a more call for attention to enforcement of electoral registration and public education, as well as policies aimed at penalizing all forms of electoral irregularities, right? Then on media, especially social media, there's a need to pursue efforts to improve access to various social media platforms, even though access is very high, okay? Also while maintaining legal guarantees of freedom. They need to promote responsible journalism so that information, we've all seen people's perception in terms of how credible the information that they consume on social media is, and this credibility is very weak. A lot of the people don't really trust. So there's need for more responsive journalism, not to just follow likes and numbers, right? So in general, there is also that there's a need for more responsive form of governance, reforms across all board, and that is attuned to the concern of the citizens. Political leadership institutions need to focus on listening to what the citizens are saying and translate this into policy, okay? So these are the key takeaways that we can take from this poll. And before I end this presentation, I'd like to emphasize the rigor that has been followed in doing this, from the way the tool, the questionnaire was developed to ensure that no major political party is left behind, no major reform issues are left behind, and right now, as we're speaking, up to the time that we went to the fields, most of the issues that are on the table are there, that are in the political space. We've tried to include it. As you can see, the opinion of the people, and so the rigor is it's very high, and the team has done a good justice to this work. Thank you so much.